Hello, I'm here with the battle now. Unfortunately, I was not able to record live commentary for this, but I think it's actually going to work out better for the types of videos I want to make covering this league, because I want to use my own battles as more like educational examples of like how to get better at playing Draft League. Even though this is a hell of a game to start off the season, I will say that right away. A lot of crazy things happened that I did not expect, but I think there's a lot to take away from this game. And yeah, so before we actually get into the replay, I do want to clarify, well, not clarify, I do want to point out two changes I made to the team. Nothing crazy, but after I built the team, basically a little bit before the match actually started, I decided to change Gunk Shot on Annihilate to Earthquake, because the only ground resist on his team is that Ogre Pawn. And so I thought Earthquake would be a much better neutral click into the majority of his team, and I wasn't super concerned about Clefable anyway, and Gunk Shot was only there for that. And the other change I made was I changed Heavy Duty Boots on Comfy to Life Orb. The reason I did that was because I forgot to check damage calcs versus his Crocodile, which, as you can see, did not come to the game, but I didn't really account for it beforehand. And Life Orb gave me a pretty decent shot to kill it at +1. And Life Orb also helped get rolls on Dragapult and Iron Bundle. The recoil I also didn't think was very important because we heal a lot with Draining Kiss and Giga Drain, and there's no priority that threatens Comfy after it tears into a fire type, because then we resist Scissor Bullet Punch. Alright, so the rest of the team is the same as the team builder. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick this in the same video as the team builder, but I guess you'll see. So yeah, let's just take a look at what he brought. And so the battle starts at team preview. This is something that a lot of people don't take full advantage of. So I know some leagues don't play with timer, but if your league does play with timer, your timer, you have a separate timer for team preview and then the battle timer. So you actually have a full 300 seconds to decide your lead and analyze the team, and you can take as much time as you realistically want at team preview, and definitely take advantage of that. So looking at his team, he brought Dragapult, Pikachu. Yes, he brought Pikachu. Iron Bundle, Ogerpon, Monkey Dory, and Scizor. So, I know my opponent has an affinity toward Pikachu, so I had a feeling he would bring it, but I didn't want to make any assumptions during team building, and I don't think you should either, because you always just got to prepare for everything, right? Okay, so, oh, you can't see it at the start of the match, but I could see his Pikachu was Terra Fairy, and then the Ogerpon is Terra Lock to Grass. So that's the information I got. He sees that my Annihilate is Poison and that my Comfy is Fire. So notably, there's no Clefable on his team, which is really surprising to me. But it means my Deoxys is going to have a much easier time breaking. It also tells me that the Scizor is going to be more defensive, because nothing on the rest, none of his other 5 team members can take a Psycho Boost, so that tells me this Scizor must have special defense investment. At team preview, I'm thinking maybe it's Assault Vest, or maybe it's just bulky, but basically this has to be the Deoxys answer. Crocodile is also missing. And because Clefable and Crocodile are both missing, that means there's no hazards in this game, besides Ogerpon Spikes, maybe. So no rocks is the important one, which is good news for me, which means I can Terra my Comfy pretty freely, because I don't have to worry about Stealth Rocks going up. So in my head, I'm thinking that the Terrafire Comfy endgame looks good. Clefable was also a big obstacle for Comfy. We discussed this in the team builder, so I was also happy to not see Clefable because of that. It means my my Metagross is less important. Monkey Dory it can check, and then it's also my Iron Bundle check, but its damage output is no longer important, basically, because I would need it to break through Clefable, but that's not here anymore. Okay, so now we have to decide the lead. So, in the team builder, I noticed at the end that I did not bring any of my water resists, and so what I'm a little concerned about is an Iron Bundle lead. Iron Bundle leading could give him pretty significant momentum if I lead like Ting Lu, for example, because I'm just put on the back foot immediately. If it's like Specs Hydro Pump, then it does a lot to my Metagross. I suddenly become weaker to Monkey Dory, and but he can also just like Flip Turn and just he can get me into a vortex of stuff. Everything here has pivot potential, but the Iron Bundle is the most dangerous one because I don't have a Hydro Pump switch in besides the Assault Vest Metagross, which can only take like 2. But I don't know if it's Specs, but it could be, right? So I decide to play assuming an Iron Bundle lead. Well, not necessarily assuming, but I wanted to cover an Iron Bundle lead. And the best thing I had for that was actually leading my Deoxys. So a lead Deoxys would cover the Iron Bundle lead pretty much exactly. But it's not great into everything else. I mean, Pikachu it's fine into, but I don't think he's going to lead Pikachu. The Monkey Dory I think could be Scarfed. The Scizor is probably the Deoxys answer in the first place. Ogerpon can Terra and outspeed and threaten Deoxys. And then Dragapult, I'm anticipating it could be Scarfed. It could also be like Sucker Punch. So none of those are like amazing matchups for Deoxys, but I really wanted to prevent that Iron Bundle lead getting momentum early on, because I feel like the rest of the team I could deal with, but getting caught in the Iron Bundle vortex right away was the biggest concern. So let's get into the match. So he ends up leading Dragapult, and so I don't get the lead right, but that's okay. It does mean I'm a little bit on the back foot immediately because I can't stay in here. This Dragapult could be Scarfed. It could also have Sucker Punch. He also does not know what my set is. Because I led with it, he might be thinking this is Hazards. And so he could just be inclined to stay in here. Psycho Boost is a roll to kill this, and so I decide I want to keep my Deoxys healthy because it's important for keeping the Iron Bundle in check. So I decide to switch into my Ting Lu. This is my dedicated answer to this, and here he clicks U-turn. And this damage immediately tells me I made a mistake in team building, which is kind of crazy that I didn't notice this. Well, not didn't notice, but didn't account for the fact that why would Dragapult ever go special into me? I have Ting Lu, which is like the best answer to a special Dragapult. This wants Sucker Punch to hit Deoxys, so why wouldn't this go like max attack with U-turn to do as much damage to Ting Lu as possible? This damage actually tells me he's Adamant Expert Belt U-turn. Yeah, so like I thought this was banded at first, but that wasn't consistent with the damage. I had the damage calc open, and I checked this right away because getting information on Dragapult is very important to proceed. And so, yeah, I found that out about his set, and I knew that the opening of the game had gone pretty horribly. So we're going to be playing this game from behind. So he goes into Scizor, and like I mentioned at the start, I'm anticipating this Scizor to be defensive, because there's no Deoxys answer otherwise. So I don't think this is like Banded Scizor or anything. I'm pretty confident this is defensive, and so I have two options. I can switch out into my Zapdos or into my Annihilate. Zapdos is going to be like a sturdy answer to this. If it gets knocked, it's fine because there's no rocks, so Boots doesn't matter. And he also risks static if he touches my Zapdos. Or I can go Annihilate and try to catch a U-turn and boost my Rage Fist to 100 base power, which is actually pretty significant because that will allow it to revenge kill the Dragapult, which I now know is confirmed not Scarfed because of the damage on Ting Lu. So getting my Annihilate boosted I thought was really important. So I ended up trying to go to Annihilate here, predicting U-turn, but he gets me with a knockoff. And so now we're on turn 3, and I've gotten every turn wrong so far. So on the bright side, my Rage Fist is boosted, and he does not have a comfortable switch into it. Like there just isn't a switch in. Something gets 2-shot by it. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, but losing my Scarf is definitely really unfortunate, because now I lose an option to deal with Dragapult, and if it's Specs Bundle, I lose an option to deal with that too. So I ended up just clicking Rage Fist here. The damage from knockoff plus that Rage Fist damage does tell me that this is a defensive Scizor. It's not like super physically defensive, but it's got like max HP, and it's got a lot of Spadef because it's not doing that much damage to me. He U-turns because he doesn't have a Rage Fist switch in, but he has a lot of offensive checks to this. Like everything else on his team outspeeds me now, so boosting my Rage Fist doesn't matter that much anymore. He ends up going back into Dragapult here. And so I'm in a really terrible position. So I'm caught in this U-turn vortex, and then the best way to get out of this is to put up hazards on the opposing side. So that's going to be my goal. I need to reposition myself in a way where I can get Ting-Lu in and I can click Stealth Rock. So what I'm going to go do here is go into Metagross, predicting U-turn, and I also... because I know this Dragapult is physical, I'm not expecting Shadow Ball to come out here. Or if he has Shadow Ball, it's not going to do that much damage. Because like this was like full physical investment, and it is Expert Belt, which will increase the damage output. But I was trying to catch him on a U-turn here, and trying to get more momentum back in the game, because this Metagross can kind of sit on everything except the Dragapult. And then my plan is to get into Ting-Lu somehow. But here, he clicks Will-O-Wisp and he misses, which is huge. Like there's not much I can say. I just got lucky here. And now what this does is it gives me a free knockoff. Like I said at the start, my Metagross's damage output is not important because there's no Clefable. So I'm okay with taking this burn here to get rid of the Expert Belt on the Dragapult, or just knock off something on the switch. He disables with Curse Body, doesn't really matter. But I knock off his Expert Belt, and here I go Zapdos. Because he revealed a Will-O-Wisp here, now I'm thinking he's a mixed set with Hex. So I don't want to catch that. Here he reveals Shadow Ball, actually. So not Hex, but he Spadef drops me, which, I mean, he missed Will-O-Wisp the turn before. I can't complain too much about it, but now I can't stay in with Zapdos, because I'm going to take too much damage from Shadow Ball, and I need my Zapdos healthy for the Ogerpon and the Scizor. So here I go into Ting-Lu, and he misses Will-O-Wisp again, which is definitely really lucky. But hey, you take it. And now I've gotten my my Ting-Lu in position to set up Stealth Rock. He just U-turns out of there, and in comes Scizor. I get up Rocks. Now here the Scizor reveals Leftovers. And I know this could have a Defog. So I go Annihilate here, because I want to keep my Rocks up to punish this like U-turn spam that's happening. So I go Annihilate here, which has Defiant, which will get boosted if this clicks Defog. But he ends up just clicking U-turn. So now... yeah, Dragapult just comes right back in, but it does at least take a little bit of Rocks chip, which means he can't do this forever. Here, I just go back into my Ting-Lu as he Shadow Balls. I assume he just thought I would either stay in, predicting U-turn, or like go back into Zapdos or something, but I finally get a turn right here. Here he Will-O-Wisps, and I just Earthquake. I thought he would U-turn here, so I just sort of Earthquaked. Just to get damage on something. But Will-O-Wisp is fine from him. He could have done that too. And now he just U-turns out of there. Here I make another mistake. I should have clicked Whirlwind this turn, because he does not have a real reason to click anything other than U-turn, because it's not going to do much damage to Ting-Lu, and then he'll just die afterward. So what I should do is predict his U-turn and Whirlwind, and then force something in to take more rocks damage and get more information. But I just Earthquake on autopilot, and this is going to allow him to, what does he click here? I believe he clicks Defog as I go into Zapdos. Yeah. Because he didn't click Defog the first time, I thought maybe he didn't have it, but no, he does, and so he gets me here. So, I'm not doing so hot, but when this happens, you just sort of have to step back and just calm down, basically. So, nothing's going according to plan. I underestimated the Dragapult in prep, and I'm caught in this momentum vortex. I don't have hazards anymore. I'm at least in an advantageous matchup now with Zapdos versus Scizor. But now I need to figure out a way to actually win the game. So on the plus side, my Comfey has not taken any damage, but the Dragapult is now in range of Draining Kiss. The Scizor has revealed to be defensive, so I don't have to worry about like a banded Scizor or something, which actually means my Deoxys is looking better too, because the Scizor is also weakened, which means it's not going to be able to switch in on Deoxys as well. So, and my Annihilape is also boosted to 1,000,000 with Rage Fist, even though it lost its Scarf. So I still have ways of winning this game, but I'm playing from behind. So here he goes into Dragapult, and I miss Heat Wave. Right, I nearly forgot about this turn. He didn't have a Heat Wave switch in. Like, there just wasn't one. Dragapult would have died. So now I'm in an even worse position than I was beforehand. So I don't really have another play besides sacking Ting-Lu here. I can't let my Zapdos get weakened because I need it for the Ogerpon and the Scizor. He finally burns my Ting-Lu, and he just kills me with U-turn the next turn. In comes Monkey Dory. I go Metagross here. This is just my Monkey Dory answer. It can't do much to me at all. Shadow Ball is its best thing. It decides to Trick immediately, getting rid of my Assault Vest and giving me a Scarf. It's not the end of the world. He does reveal Shadow Ball here. I just stay it and knock off. I don't have a Shadow Ball switch in. I can go to Comfey if I want to, but I don't want to take unnecessary damage because Comfey is the only reason I'm still in this game. The Monkey Dory being weakened is also huge because I need to do that for the Comfey endgame because this is a Draining Kiss resist. And so now this is actually in range. So we have Dragapult in range, Monkey Dory in range, Scizor in range, Iron Bundle, I believe, was always in range of Giga Drain with Life Orb, actually. So that was another benefit to have Life Orb on. And then Ogerpon is always in range of Terra Blast Fire. And then Pikachu, I believe we need a Calm Mind boost to hit, but it doesn't need any chip damage. So, like, we're still very much in this game, even though if it looks pretty awful on our part. I don't have a Shadow Ball switch in, so I just let Metagross go down. And here I go Deoxys. Now, I actually think for a while here about what move to click. So my moveset, if you remember, is Psycho Boost, Ice Beam, Extreme Speed, and Poison Jab. And I have a feeling that maybe I don't want to reveal Extreme Speed, because it's not exactly a common move on Deoxys Speed, and I think it could maybe catch the Ogerpon or Iron Bundle off guard. But I don't want to click Psycho Boost because it can miss, and then it will also lower my special attack. And clicking Ice Beam is pretty annoying into the Scizor, because if he wants to preserve this, I mean, he can, just assuming I pick an accurate attack. Because if I don't click Psycho Boost this turn, this Scizor can switch in on anything, and with leftovers, it will heal out of range of the next one. And I don't really want to take more damage with like Bullet Punch, and then I could get U-turned on again. But I end up just deciding to Ice Beam, and he sacks his Monkey Dory. So it was a lot of stress for nothing. But then here he brings an Iron Bundle, and this surprises me, like quite a lot actually. I think this is a mistake from him. He reveals that he's actually Booster Energy Special Attack. So, I didn't understand what was happening here. I think his idea is, well, actually, I'll let the next turn play out, and then I'll show you what his idea was. So, I don't know what this Iron Bundle is meant to do to me. I'm faster than it. I have a guaranteed kill with Life Orb Psycho Boost. I know he's not Scarfed. I know he's not Specs either, which means I actually live. So I decided to throw off a Psycho Boost thinking I'll pick it off, but he's actually extremely specially bulky and lives this hit. And then he elects to click Substitute. I don't really understand this. I honestly really don't. I know he told me after the game that Substitute on Iron Bundle was meant to help with Comfy, but I don't know why he clicked it this turn. Maybe just, I think he was just thinking I would switch out for some reason, but I had no reason to. It was probably because he knew that he lived my attack, but I didn't know that he lived my attack. If that makes sense. So I think what this turn was him playing a little from his own perspective and not thinking about mine fully. But it ends up working out for me. So now the Iron Bundle is chipped. The Dragapult is still chipped. The Scizor is chipped. Comfy Endgame is looking really good. So here I think about what move to click again. So based on how much special defense investment he has, Ice Beam actually does not kill this Iron Bundle from here after the -2 from Psycho Boost. Well, it's a roll to kill. I have no idea what his special defense investment is, but it might not kill, which is enough to dissuade me from clicking it here. So I don't want to click Psycho Boost because it can miss. So then that leaves me with Extreme Speed and Poison Jab. And then I fall into the same sort of thinking with the Monkey Dory, where I really would not want to reveal Extreme Speed if I don't have to. But if he decides to preserve this and go Scizor, then I just like waste a turn fully because Scizor being immune to Poison Jab, and then I'm gonna lose momentum, and then I'm just running out of sacks at this point. So I decide to just Extreme Speed because it still gets me something out of the turn. I do unfortunately reveal it. And then out comes Dragapult. So now this is screaming that this is Sucker Punch. So I very confidently go into my Annihilate here, predicting Sucker Punch. And now it's in position. So this is what I was going for here. So I knew he would click Sucker Punch this turn, but even if he clicked like Shadow Ball or something, that was actually going to work out for me because I kind of want my Annihilate to go down here. Because my Comfy can set up a Calm Mind on this Dragapult pretty safely. I don't have to Terra versus it. I resist Sucker Punch, and then Shadow Ball is not going to do it a ton because I know this is physical biased. And Dragapult's special attack is actually not that high without a boosting item. So I want my Annihilate to go down. I think he's just going to Shadow Ball me here, and then I can go into my Comfy and Calm Mind. But he does elect to Will-O-Wisp, which covers my Terra. So here I sort of make the same mistake like he did with the Iron Bundle earlier, where I was thinking from my own perspective, knowing I was never going to Terra my Annihilate, but he doesn't know that. And I very well could have, because why else would I go into my Annihilate on the Ghost type just to take a Shadow Ball and die? And I just clicked Rage Fist here, because I don't know, I just sort of clicked a button assuming my Annihilate would die, but now I kill the Dragapult, and this is actually bad for me, because I wanted my Comfy to get in here and just like clean up the game. But now I can't do that anymore. So the correct play here was to U-turn, but it just goes to show that even when you intend to sack something, you should think about what move you're clicking just in case it lives somehow, because it can definitely have a major impact on the game. Though, as you'll see, this might have worked out in my favor by complete accident. So Dragapult goes down, and out comes Ogerpon. And I sort of realize I'm in trouble. So this Ogerpon is just going to set up a Swords Dance, and I can't really do anything about it. I'm burned, so my Rage Fist isn't going to do a ton of damage anymore. I just U-turn into my Zapdos. Ogerpon's best move to hit Zapdos is Rock Tomb, and unless he is Life Orb, I actually do live a Rock Tomb from this HP. So he Terras, and he clicks Rock Tomb. So now I see this go, and I'm like, oh damn. If he is Life Orb, I just lose, because this is faster than everything and just kills everything at this point. I mean, Comfy, Draining Kiss plus Deoxys E-Speed. They might, but I don't know if this is a Horn Leech or not either. I do live the Rock Tomb, which shows he's not Life Orb. He's actually Expert Belt. This damage does confirm that. So I live. I'm like, oh, thank God. Then I can just Heat Wave and then pick it off with priority, and I miss Heat Wave. So Zapdos clicked 2 moves this game. They were both 90% accurate Heat Waves, and both of them missed at pretty critical times, because that Dragapult could have been dead, and this Ogerpon, this wouldn't have killed the Ogerpon, but would have put it in guaranteed Extreme Speed or Draining Kiss range. And yeah, now it's looking really bad. So I just have to let Zapdos go down. And now my only play is to go Comfy. And now it's a 50-50. Do I stay a Fairy type and live the Rock Tomb, or and then kill this with 2 Draining Kisses? Or do I Terra into a Fire type and just kill this with Terra Blast Fire? I can't go Deoxys, unfortunately, because Extreme Speed doesn't kill, and I actually, I kind of want to keep my Deoxys around for the Pikachu, because my Comfy can't kill the Pikachu without a Calm Mind boost, and the Pikachu is faster than my Annihilate without a Scarf, so I could lose to that Pikachu in the back. So I need both my Comfy and Deoxys, so that's why I have to go Comfy this turn. So it's a complete 50-50. I decide to Terra, and he Ivy Cudgels, predicting me to not Terra. So I'm able to pick off the Ogerpon with Terra Blast Fire, and we're back in the game. And so now in comes Pikachu. And this is a Pikachu. This is a 1-point Pokemon. And so I'm like, all right, the game's wrapped. All I have to do is go to Annihilate and then sack it, then go Deoxys and just Extreme Speed until it dies, and then go Comfy and clean up the game. So that's what I do. I go Annihilate, and this Pikachu clicks Agility in front of my Comfy. And now it's faster than my Deoxys. Good lord. Well, let me tell you, when I saw this Pikachu Agility, my heart dropped. I've never felt more scared of a Pikachu in my life before. So there's nothing I can do this turn. I just let Annihilate go down. Volt Tackle does give pretty significant recoil though, because Annihilate has high base HP. And this recoil is actually going to put it in a Deoxys Extreme Speed range. So I'm like, okay, the recoil like sort of bailed me out here. So now I can just go Deoxys and E-Speed. I do the same thing. Even though this Agility, it got scary, but we're out. So I click Extreme Speed just to pick it off. I could not believe my eyes. This Pikachu just used Upper Hand on my Deoxys. And like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm getting completely cooked by a Pikachu. Like, this type of set is something you cannot reasonably expect when preparing for a Draft League game. Sometimes these sets just happen and you get cooked, and you just gotta respect it and move on. But I'm still not out. As you saw, Upper Hand only did 21%, which means I can take at least 2 more, assuming no crits. And so this becomes basically 3 50-50s. It's like a Sucker Punch endgame, except with priority moves. Because this Pikachu does die to Extreme Speed, but if I click like Ice Beam or Psycho Boost as he clicks Upper Hand, then he dies as well. But if I click extreme speed as he doesn't upper hand, then he dies. It's literally just a pure 50-50. There's no real like some 50-50s in Pokemon aren't true 50-50s, but this is a real 50-50 because he can't switch to Scizor, then he just like loses for sure. Those are the options. It's either upper hand or Volt Tackle. There is no mixing it up. The fact that it has upper hand too also means that my Comfy Draining Kiss won't work on it. So if this like wins all the 50-50s with my Deoxys, then it also has to contend with either Terra Blast or Draining Kiss from my Comfy. I don't remember if Draining Kiss killed from this HP. It may have. Pikachu is like paper thin bulk, and this is like it's like not Eviolite, obviously. It's Light Ball, and it has no bulk investment. So yeah, this is the scariest Pikachu endgame that I think has ever been seen in the history of Pokemon. You can see chat is very excited about this. Like, this is an insane game to spectate. So yeah, there's not a whole much else to say other than we have to enter this 50-50 endgame now. I do want to add that my fears of revealing Extreme Speed early in the game actually did matter here, because if I hadn't revealed Extreme Speed before, I don't think this Pikachu clicks upper hand, because Extreme Speed is not a common move on Deoxys, and he might not have thought about it. So, but because I did reveal it, he knew I was going for it, because he knows that he outspeeds me, and then I have to E-speed, so yeah. I don't think revealing Extreme Speed was necessarily wrong earlier, but it does show that my thinking was, it did have some merit. Alright, now there's really not much more to say. So, the next turn, I decide I'm going to click Extreme Speed again. I think he's going to Volt Tackle. And I lock that in pretty quickly, actually. He takes a bit to think. So yeah. I click Extreme Speed, and I win the 50-50 right away. So if I didn't get it right there, then Pikachu would have upper-handed me, and then I get flinched, and then we enter another 50-50. Like, I had a couple chances to win this. So, yeah, okay. So each individual turn in the sequence was a true 50-50, but the overall situation was in my favor because I could afford to get one of these plays wrong, but he could not. Well, I could afford to be wrong with Extreme Speed because I don't die to upper hand, but if I clicked Psycho Boost, then I couldn't afford to be wrong with that. Alright, Scizor comes in, I just E-speed. I mean, I can't hard switch Comfy, and then I go in Comfy. I am guaranteed out of range of Bullet Punch. This is defensive Scizor, so I live Bullet Punch, take 13, kill this with Terra Blast Fire, take Life Orb Recoil, and I win with one Pokemon on 4% HP in the first game of the season after nearly getting swept by a Pikachu. Yeah, okay. Wow, that was a crazy game. So let's reflect on this a little bit. What did we learn? So we learned how to play from behind. So we got pretty outplayed in the first couple turns. We got the lead matchup wrong. We got our Scarf knocked off on Annihilate. We got a little lucky with the Will-O-Wisp misses, but we missed Heat Wave 2, and got Spadef drop as well. We misplayed this turn by not clicking Whirlwind. Basically, yeah, we didn't account for physical Dragapult in the team builder, and that's like a very obvious mistake when Tinglu is our obvious answer to Dragapult. So that is something to keep in mind. We can't tunnel vision on like the on one specific set. Because Tinglu was such a good Dragapult answer, I sort of took it for granted. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I took Tinglu for granted. I just assumed it would handle the Dragapult, and I didn't think about ways that Dragapult could deal with Tinglu. Would I have thought about this if I spent more time on the team builder? Probably, but I don't want to spend like 2 hours building teams for this league, and then that's not going to be very exciting to watch either. So, yeah. But all throughout it, we stayed calm, and we kept in mind that our Comfy was our end game. Oh yeah, we did have to get a little lucky here. We won a 50-50 with Comfy this turn, but that was only because we missed Heat Wave. If we didn't miss Heat Wave there, I think we just guarantee win the game. I did mention that this turn here, where I click Rage Fist and kill the Dragapult, could have worked out in my favor, even though I think it was probably a mistake. The only reason I say that is because if I had clicked U-turn here, I would have gone into Comfy and clicked Calm Mind, as the Dragapult probably clicks Shadow Ball. Then I Draining Kiss and get some health back. Then he goes Pikachu, and then he can just like upper hand me, and then I'm just like I just don't have enough health to deal with the Ogerpon, and the Pikachu could just outplay me every turn as well. So like in a weird roundabout way, I think this ended up working out for me. But I think this is also still, with only hindsight knowledge of it being upper hand Pikachu, I don't think that's reasonable to expect. And if this Ogerpon didn't get a chance to Swords Dance, then Rock Tomb doesn't do a whole lot to my Comfy, because I'm like super bulky. And yeah. So I guess we can go over the actual team that we brought. Oops. So let me pause this at the start. Yeah. So Deoxys was a breaker set, and also to revenge like Iron Bundle, and it did basically exactly what I wanted it to. It dented Iron Bundle. It was weird that it didn't kill, but he was super bulky. The priority E-Speed was definitely nice to have because of how fast his team was. Scarf Annihilate did not do anything this game. Unfortunately, Annihilate it got owned early on. I mean, I'm a little surprised he clicked Knockoff this turn, but I think he did predict my Annihilate coming in, so that was good on his part. This was probably a little over-aggressive on my end, looking back. I really did not want to get caught in the U-turn vortex and like get Iron Bundle in and it be Specs and then I just lose my Metagross, or I just take too much damage. But I think having my Scarf was more important in hindsight, because this game gets significantly easier if I have a Scarf Annihilate, because that can revenge the Iron Bundle, the Pikachu, and the Dragapult. And it also does decently into the Scizor. And I have the option of tearing it on the Ogerpon if I want to. Ting-Lu was not optimal. I got up rocks, but it couldn't keep him up. We didn't put any physical defense investment to deal with Dragapult U-turn, and that was a mistake. The Comfy set worked. We identified this as a potential win con really early on in the team builder, and that did win us the game. We were going for that end game at all times, and we definitely would have lost if we did not bring that Comfy set. Metagross was just here as a defensive Pokemon, and it did its job. It dealt with the Monkey Dory. It was able to like knock off the Dragapult. It could have dealt with the Iron Bundle if I needed it to. And then Zapdos was just standard defensive. It technically did its job if it had hit its moves, but unfortunately it clicked 2 moves this game and both of them missed. So, not too happy with Zapdos. Annihilate was probably more my fault. And then Comfy and Deoxys put in work. And then Ting-Lu and Metagross I'm pretty neutral on. So, this is a crazy game. But I guess just a quick summary. So, if you if you find yourself behind in the early game, you just need to stay calm and remember what your win con is when you built the team. And just play to that win con as best you can. Knowing that you have that in the back is just mentally reassuring to help keep your head in the game. Because if things start going wrong immediately early in the game, then there's still time to correct it before the game is over. The game is only over when like the game is over. I know it's super cliche, but it's true. So, and the other lesson is sometimes you just get caught by completely off guard. You get caught completely off guard by sets that no sane person could ever come up with in the team builder. No, I don't mean that in like a mean way. It's a really cool set, and it like nearly worked. And that's what I love about Draft League, is seeing these sets pop off. So yeah, we were able to take home a 1-0 victory by the skin of our teeth in our first game. So next week we will try to be more conscious of opponents' counterplay to our threats that are obvious, like our Tinglu and the Dragapult, for example. And we'll just be more aware of that, maybe be a little more, I don't know, maybe spread our bulk around a little more. But our win con recognition was good, and we also need to probably play a little bit safer with our like revenge killers like Annihilate. Like, boosting Rage Fist with Annihilate is really tempting, but we can't do that unless it's safe. We also have to keep that in mind. And yeah, that's it. Judging by how long I rambled about this game for, I believe this will be a separate video from the team builder now. So, thank you for watching. I didn't say my name at the start because I thought this would be just attached to the team builder, but there's no way I'm doing that now. So yeah, my name is Scribble, and I will see you next time for the team builder in week 2. We are playing Pharaoh, who is he's definitely like the best Yoshi in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in the USA. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.